Good evening, Let's Talk Sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. We got a collaboration show going on, folks, tonight. We got the boys from SpitBallin Sports. Glad to have you guys doing a collaboration show on the eve of the kickoff of the NFL season. Does it get any better than this, boys?
No,
It does not.
thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks. And, those of you who don't know, we do stream now to the SpitBallin Sports, and we've had nothing but great things. You know, a lot of viewers, a lot of interaction. We love it. So, but thank you guys for having us aboard. We really appreciate it. So,
Thanks, fellas.
just jumping on here tonight, guys. I mean, we've got a lot going on here. Obviously, tomorrow night is the big game. I don't know if I'd call it a big game. I don't know. You know, Detroit going into Arrowhead. Geez, I'm not sure what to expect from that. I mean, here we go. What do you got, Ed? Here we go.
Really?
I see you're shaking your head. I know something. You gotta have some kind of.
Billy, the line has come down 2 points already. There's no Travis Kelce and no Chris and no defensive tackle. It's come down 2 points. That's unbelievable. 6.5 to 4.5, and I just saw it right now at 4. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's a pretty good chance they have. If you're missing those two, I mean, you're missing Kelce. That's huge. Who's he gonna throw
It's
to?
huge. No, I know. I saw that today too. But I don't know. It's going to be tough for Detroit going into Arrowhead. Let's face it.
Detroit can run the ball. They have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. They can run the ball. The best way to beat Patrick Mahomes is make him part of the audience. And if they can control the clock, which they should be able to, without Chris Jones in the middle, I mean, who else do they have on the defensive line? They got a bunch of rookies in the back end that are now second-year players. I think it's going to be a better game. If they can run the ball, Kansas City's in trouble.
Yeah. Well,
All that does for Chris Jones is make that number go up, 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 up.
Yeah, he's happy about Nick Bosa today, I bet.
Oh, my God, yeah.
With Kelce out, I thought the same thing. My thoughts on the game, honestly, have totally changed. I think it's a huge game for Detroit.
yeah.
If Detroit can pull it off and they beat them in Arrowhead, woo,
Yeah.
media's going to have a field day on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, that will definitely set the precedent for the Lions season, no doubt. I mean, going into, the Super Bowl, defended Super Bowl champs, and especially Arrowhead. I mean, we know Arrowhead, one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL, and a hard place to play. I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of teams that go in there and struggle just for the sound and the noise alone, not being able to hear the counts and certain things.
Realistically, who's he going to throw to? Kadarius Toney? I mean, Marcus Valdes-Scantling. I mean, what's he going to do? I mean, can they run the ball? Maybe, but I think Detroit's got a better run game. And Detroit's got Jahmyr Gibbs. They're going to isolate him on every friggin' linebacker throughout the entire year, and that guy's going to have a field day tomorrow. He's just got so much energy and quickness. It's going to be – if they're able to do that, it's going to be a mighty upset.
Yeah. Well,
It could also be Sky Moore's coming out party, right?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Sky Moore's a local boy here to Pittsburgh. But, I mean, Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney, I think, are as tall as Billy's kids.
There you go.
You know?
Who's
Are they the same size?
Who's the
I'm telling you, they're short guys.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to run a speed, quick offense, yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. I think Detroit has a better than a puncher's chance.
Now they do, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, with Kelce out, it does kind of
Let the line keep going down. I hope it goes down and down.
Yeah.
Well, because it takes away the ability for Mahomes to run around like he does and play backyard football, which is pretty much all they ever do, right? I mean, just run around until Kelce gets open, and it works all the time. And he's not going to have that now.
Right.
They're thinking it could be a couple weeks.
Well, you're right about that, Scott, because he extends plays. Mahomes is able to extend plays, and you're right. Kelce's able to get open when he does that. He finds some way to get open.
I don't recall how many games I've seen him play without Kelce. Like, I can't even think.
Kelce's only missed 2 games his whole career.
Okay, there you go. Then. I didn't even realize. Yeah, because I can't even think. So
once for injury.
already game one. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see what Andy Reid has. I'm curious to see how this goes. It makes it more interesting, even though it wasn't, it still was a game one. But
plus, if it's a true hyperextension of his knee, he's going to have a brace on for quite a long time, even after he comes back. He's not going to be fully healthy all year, which I think is hard for them to overcome.
He's got a bad bone bruise, I guess,
from the hyperextension. So when the knee does that, the boat that hits. But they said his ACL is intact. So
who's lucky?
But intact could be a grade 1, which is just a micro tear. You don't know. I've not seen the MRI or anything, but I think it's going to change the way they are. But luckily, their first 7 games aren't their toughest. Their back 9 are their toughest. So that's what Chris Jones is counting on.
We're going to see what Andy Reid's got, what the boys got without having Kelsey. I mean, he's such a major part of their offense. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how they pull it off.
Plus, he's also a huge part of the run game. He's a good blocker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We got my buddy Steve Simmers chiming in. What's up, guys? What's going on, Steve?
Yeah.
I know Steve's all ready for this weekend. So
Bill, hold on before you transition though. To Eddie's point, and what the three of us have been talking for like the past 3 weeks is the offensive line of the Steelers and equating it. So I'm really interested to see what the new philosophy of having a better offensive line and maybe taking a run game to Pat Mahomes and trying to keep him on the sidelines versus what the Bills were trying to do, which was trying to gunsling with him in that playoff game they were in. I want to see how that stacks up against Mahomes, even with Kels out. I know that's an X factor, but if it works or if it doesn't work, we're going to see. I really think in week 1.
Well, I don't think he's been actually ruled out. I think they're going to test his knee tomorrow, but he's still not going to be 100% regardless.
Yeah.
You ever hyperextend a knee before?
Yeah, they can give him a happy shot. That's just not going to help.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those happy shots are just as good, but he'll be labored up either way.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the line of the Chiefs. They went out, and got free agents Donovan Smith and Andrew Wiley in the off season. And I think they've kind of stockpiled some young receiver talent. But I agree with you guys. With Kelsey, if he's out or not 100%, it's a different offense. Definitely, he is kind of a stalemate in that offense for sure. But
because they don't have a true number 1 wideout, right? Because all their money's going to Kelsey and Mahomes. So instead of the wideout getting paid, that's why they got all these role players in there.
Right.
Let's see if it works.
Yep. So, well, what's the line at again? I'm sorry, guys.
It's 4.5 right now.
4, right?
If you can go under 3, I'll go with the Chiefs. If you can get under 3, I'd love to go with Kansas City.
Yeah.
I took Detroit when it was 6.5 because I didn't think I gamble a lot, and last year the Chiefs were horrible against the spread. I think they beat the spread twice all season or something like that. It was ridiculous. They they just never beat the spread, man.
Right. So, sounds like we've got Fido chiming in now too.
No, my dipshit. I already yelled at her.
Oh, okay.
She's in the other room.
Okay. Well, we're so I guess guys, we just go by division here. Steve chimes in. He goes, "Don't sleep on Detroit." I agree.
They can run the ball.
Yeah, I agree. And
St. Brown is going to have a great season again, I believe, this year.
You would think the Chiefs will stop you would hope that they're going to key is to stop the run, right? You would imagine that's what's in their game plan. They have to stop the run, make Goff beat you. I still don't know if he can do that, but we'll see, man. I think it's going to be. I think the Lions might be coming a little bit. I think they're coming a little too fast at this point, as far as being too much of a. They'll win the division, but the division's garbage. After that, really, are they that good? I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, without Kansas City having that push up the middle, that's just a totally different game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just they don't have any pass rushers other than him, really. They have Karlaftis from last year, but he's not from Purdue. He's not like a grade A outside presence. He did well.
I wish the Bills were playing him this week 1. You know what I mean? I'd love to face Kansas City right now.
Yep.
Right. Yep. That'd be the time to face them for sure. Yep. You don't want to face them in December. That's for sure.
So if Detroit is who they are supposed to be, then honestly, they should win outright. I think if all the off-season hype about them is right, which I get it. It's due. But, I mean, I'm a Bills fan, been one for life. I'm the victim of last season hearing, being the darling, and I hated it. I couldn't stand it. And it sucks when they're talking about you so much because it's almost like a detriment to you, I believe. And it makes people hate you. And I don't know. I think Detroit's in a good place. I don't know, John. I don't think they're coming too fast. I like the pace that they're on, to be honest. I think the media is the one that's just trying to push that. But
that's what I'm talking about, is the media more than the team.
If they win this week, the media they're going to be the kings of the league. The media that's going to be the story. We're going to hear about as much about them as we have the New York Jets this offseason.
Well, it's also year 3 under Campbell. That's usually the year you step up. So
should be.
Yeah. We'll see. Well, do we want to go? Let's go division. Let's start with the NFC North. So, let's just start there.
Let's start there.
What?
It's the Lions division. I mean,
is it though?
It should be.
Minnesota?
I don't know.
You have to always give them a puncher's chance, right? I mean, look at Kirk Cousins.
That's what happened to Minnesota in the offseason is getting a coordinator, a D coordinator. They lack so much defense.
Well, and that's what I think. Brian Flores, this is going to be his first season as the defensive coordinator. I want to see what he can do because I tell you what, he has a hell of a defensive mind. And, even with Dalvin Cook off to New York, I'm not really worried about offensive production when it comes to the Vikings, guys. I think they're going to have offensive production.
I didn't think Cook was that big of a loss for him either.
No, I really did.
I think it's going to be a big loss for them if he's healthy. I think it's a huge loss. I mean, you're talking healthy Dalvin Cook is a big deal. I mean, the guy's he's awfully good when he's healthy. If you have him a healthy
shoulder, got a bad shoulder, and he's a running back. That just usually doesn't. No, I don't know. It usually doesn't end well. I wouldn't have paid him all that money.
Well, they're lucky they have. I mean, if they're going to use him with Breece Hall, maybe that's a helpful thing that they can not. They're not going to have to kill him. But I don't know. I mean, the Vikings, the Lions should win this division. I mean, if they don't win if they can't win the division, then what the hell? I mean, the division is like I said a minute ago, is really bad. It's just bad, and there's no way that they shouldn't. They play 6 games. They should probably win 5. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't.
I don't think
they have the second best quarterback in their division. I think Cousins is better than Goff still.
I think so too.
I think so too. Yeah, and I tell you what, I'm looking forward to see what Jordan Addison does too. The former Pitt standout. I'm looking to see what he does in this offense. But we've seen this before.
Bill, there's another comment there.
Yeah, I see.
Steve Simmers.
Okay. He said, imagine hearing about how good the Browns will be this year. I live in Ohio. We'll get to that, yeah. But, I really, the Achilles heel for the Vikings last year was what, guys? What was the main thing? That their defense,
they sucked.
They were horrible on defense.
Horrible.
And Brian Flores, I really think he's gonna do good with this team. I really believe, I think you're gonna see a lot better production out of this group. And I tell you what, if they can figure this defense out, like I said, I think they're still gonna have offensive production. This Vikings team could be a sleeper, in my opinion. I'm just saying.
I think they can make the playoffs for sure. I think they could easily be a wild card.
I don't think the NFC's got a lot of wild card candidates. I don't know.
Yeah, they do.
10-7. 9. I don't know. 9-8, 10-7.
I mean, is everybody just of the opinion that Green Bay's going to suck? Because I honestly don't think they're going to be that bad. I mean, there's another team in that division that
they have a good defense. They have a good defense. Really
Jordan Love, I guess, has looked good in preseason and such. So I'm going to hold out a judgment on them.
They weren't like San Francisco was trying to get rid of their rookie quarterback. They like him what he does in practice. I mean, Lance couldn't hit the barn side of a barn.
Yeah.
His accuracy was a huge problem. He's throwing so little passes, but I think they like Jordan Love. He's big, he's got a big arm and he can move. So
yeah.
How good was he in college? I'm not a college guy, so I haven't really gotten an opportunity to see him play that much.
He played nowhere football in Nevada. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Oh,
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw for numbers, but they weren't very good. His one start that I can remember was against Kansas City, and he wasn't bad. And Kansas City had Mahomes. He wasn't bad. The game wasn't that out of control. It was a decent game. But I think they like what he can do. I mean, the only problem with them is they have old tackles. How many more Band-Aids and wraps can you put on Bakhtiari? Guys,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
He's been hurt so many times.
Right.
And if those tackles go down, they're screwed. But they got a good running game.
He wasn't supposed to come back this year, and he did, and that was, a shocker,
Who, Bakhtiari?
Yeah.
And he's saying he feels great, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know what he's saying? He's healthier than he's ever been or something, I heard him saying.
Yeah, but at the end of the year last year, there was talk that he was hanging it up, and, that didn't happen. I guess he got a little bit better, feeling better in the offseason. But, obviously I'm up in here in Packers country, and you hear about, But Love, I think, has, from what I've seen, I've watched him in the preseason, and he looks good. I mean, it looks like he's, he looks good. But
is he connecting good with Christian Watson and those young wideouts?
He is, and he is, and I mean, but it's been small sample sizes with him. LaFleur's not really. He's not a guy that he doesn't like to play his starters in the preseason. Like he tries to go out of his way not to have his guys play more than 2 series. So it's been a very small sample size with Jordan Love. So I don't really have a good, grasp on what he's going to do.
So he could literally come out and blow all of us away and be like, "Holy shit, this guy's phenomenal."
Well, they're playing Chicago in the first game. Chicago's defense is not that strong.
Yeah, chances are he'll be like, "Oh my God, he's great."
Right. Yeah. And it's going to be that overreaction, underreaction Tuesday.
John, is he gonna come up like this and tell your crowd he owns you now?
You might as well.
Again, what's good for the Bears is they can run the ball. I mean, they have a running quarterback. Right. That's what they can do. Right. So they can control the clock easily with that guy.
Right. It's not going to be pretty. The Bears are going to have, they're going to be bad. I mean, if they can win 6 games, that'll be great because that'll double what they did last year. God, if they get to 7 or 8, it's wonderful. I mean, the best thing about the Bears season is that they have Carolina's #1 pick. And I just hope Carolina's terrible as can be. And then the Bears, if Fields is bad, then just go. I mean, you got to start over, unfortunately, all over again, which I'm sick and tired of. The Bears have been doing that my whole life. So you just every time you pick a bad quarterback, you get kicked in the nuts, and it's like 5, 3-4 years.
3 years usually.
So this is the Justin Fields year. So
this is it. I mean, when you look at it, Ryan Poles. He's been a decent GM for them, but if this is it for Fields, if this doesn't pan out, he's going to be looking for a new QB in the spring for sure.
It's loaded with quarterbacks too.
Yeah, but
he's got everything. I think he's got everything you could want. I mean, there's going to be no excuse. I would say. I mean, last year it was bad. You think about who he was throwing to. He had the wrong St. Brown. You had Pettis. I can't even remember. Claypool's terrible, and you had all kinds of stuff. It wasn't good, right? This year, I mean, I think he's got guys.
He has some talent on him around,
I think at one point last year you had 11 tight ends on your roster, so you got to find one good in that roster. Cole Kmet can play, so he's going to have, and you got 2 decent running backs, even with the loss of Montgomery. But I think, they have a chance. They really do.
DJ Moore's good. DJ Moore's awfully good. So that's something the Bears have never had. I mean, my God, it doesn't take much when Sid Luckman's your best quarterback of all time. So,
how can you go wrong with Sid? Come on.
Yeah, really. So, just getting back to the Packers, guys. I don't know how you guys think, but for me, when their running game as well with Dillon and Jones, I mean, that's a hell of a 1-2 punch. I mean, to me, it kind of reminds me of Hunt and Chubb. When in the heyday of the Cleveland Browns, or not the heyday, but when they were last year when they were together, the year before when they had a really good 1-2 punch. You all saw the T-shirts, "Run the ball, Kevin." But I think the same thing with the Packers. I mean, you've got Jones and Dillon, both very durable backs, and I think that's going to make Jordan Love's job a lot easier this year. If they can establish that running game. We say that, establish that running game, and yet they're devaluing running backs left and right. I mean, what is that? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't understand it. But
well, they just realize you don't need high price ones. That's all.
No, and it's in a lot of teams. It's right.
The high pedigree is not what you need to carry that rock. they're going after better offensive lines, better blocking schemes is what they're doing. They're getting back to fundamentals with the rock right up front and finding that they can hand it to almost anybody with talent.
Well, for a lot of
look what's going on with the Steelers.
Yeah. For a
Jaylen
lot of
Warren's
teams,
clearly a better runner. Then everyone's saying that now. And you hit Najee's not a captain now. I mean, there's things going on behind the scenes. They're not going to extend him because it's too much money.
Right. For a lot of teams, it's been running back by committee for sure. I mean, you know, it's and there's no doubt about that.
It's a smarter way to go. I mean, your backs are always their legs are always fresh. You know, you're covered for injury. I mean, it's just a smart way to do it, man.
Well, and we know football. What's the smallest life expectancy of a position is what? Running back. I mean, you make it to 30 and you're basically like, you know, you're basically done. You know, I
think the rookie deals should be shortened.
Agreed.
Due to their career expectancy, because by the time they're done with their rookie contract, they've been churned and burned if they're any good, and nobody wants to pay them. So they just franchise them and then move on. You know, it's shitty that they do that to those guys.
All right, so who's going to win this NFC North? I mean, we the consensus is the Lions or what? I mean,
let's just go around the horn, Billy.
Well, I say the Vikings. I'm going with the Vikings. I think the Vikings can do. I really do. I like I said, I think. You get Brian Flores in there. You've added some pieces on that defense. You know, I think they can. I think they can go places this year. I think you really haven't. I mean, losing Dalvin Cook, I don't think is an extremely, you know, crushing blow. I want to see what Jordan Addison can do. I think they're going to have offensive production. I think they're going to be better on defense. So they're my sleeper to win the division.
Me?
Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
I'm with you, Bill. I like the Vikings just because they're proven. They got probably the best wide receiver in the league. I mean, they've got a good quarterback. He's not. I mean, he does the job when it's needed. Dalvin Cook, I just don't think it's going to be that big of a loss for him. If their defense can throw things up a bit, I truly think Detroit's just not there for me yet. I love their story.
Yep.
Yeah, they might prove me wrong, but they might be right there with them at the end. But I just think the Vikings are going to take the division. I like their offense a lot better.
Yep. John.
I think the Lions will be 11-6. I think the Vikings will win 10. I give the Vikings 10 games. They'll go 10-7. I think the Packers will be 9-8. I think the Bears will win. I don't know, maybe 6. I'll give them 6, maybe 7, and I'll be happy. And I'll go to and I'll wait till 85 to come. That's my prediction for them. But I like the Lions. The Lions don't win this division. The Lions should win the division. I just think the Lions they got a good defense. I really like Hutchinson. I just can't understand why they would not win the division. But that's my thoughts.
Real quick, and Ed and Trace, you can probably vouch for me on this. Does Matt Eberflus, Coach Eberflus of the Bears, does he not kind of remind you of General Linton a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I sent that to John. You remember I sent that to you. Yeah. It's kind of a – but all right.
I'm taking the Lions. Go, Trace.
I'm with Eddie, Lions.
Next one, Billy. Hit it, baby.
Whoa, we're rapid fire here. Holy cow, man. Okay.
AFC North. Let's go, baby.
All right. AFC North. The moment we've been waiting for. Gosh, this is I don't know. This is a really tough one for me. You know what, Trace? I'm gonna have you start it off, Trace. What do you think? I want Tracy's thoughts.
So do I.
So this is tough because I think this is the better division in this conference, right? I really like what Baltimore did with trying to plus up some things and get some things moving around their quarterback, but I don't know that it's going to be enough with that quarterback. The Bengals, they're still sitting up high, but hopefully they can hold it together. I don't see them being able to do everything that they've done given some of the pieces that they've lost over the offseason here. And then they're doing some of the big contracts as well, so that's helped deplete them along with that. The Browns should be good. Hopefully their quarterback shows up. And then the Steelers are sitting where we talk every week, right? We're going to try to run the ball down their throats, and hopefully Kenny Pickett is a good game manager. So I still think the Bengals are going to be sitting on top, but I'm not sure if it's going to be the Ravens or the Steelers sitting in the second spot.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go. So obviously I think the Bengals are kind of the the front runner here, but my thing with the Bengals, I'm not. One of the things I don't want to overlook with the Bengals is the loss of Jesse Bates and Von Bell in the secondary. I think that's really going to hurt that secondary. I still think they have one of the best rosters in the league. You got you got T. Higgins, you got Tyler Boyd entering contract season, so they're going to be showcasing themselves. And then you got Jamar Chase to follow that. Joe Burrow, I question that calf injury. I don't know how much of that is going to be an issue. I know he did play in the last preseason game. He didn't get what, Eddie? He did not. No, I thought he. Okay, that's right. He did. Okay, but I don't know what's going to happen there. With the Ravens, I mean, it's going to be can Lamar Jackson stay healthy? You got Odell Beckham Jr. now. You got Zay Flowers. I think it's going to. You got a new offensive coordinator with those playmakers. Is Jackson going to be able to gel with them? How long is it going to take for him to gel with them? Is it going to be quick? Is it going to be mid-season? Monken's a good coordinator, but I don't know. Like having a new coordinator and starting off with all these new guys and these new weapons, I don't know if they can hit the ground running. I think they'll be fine, but I don't know. And then with them you got that Marlon Humphrey. He's had that lingering foot injury. There's a lot of question marks with that. The Browns, I don't know. We've talked about this before, guys. The defense is great for the Browns, right? But Watson, I mean, last year, yeah, he didn't play, the entire season last year. But, I've said this before, and I know some people disagree, but him and Kevin Stefanski, I don't think is really a good match. And like I stated before, Watson's one of these guys. He likes throwing bombs down the field, and Stefanski's more of a he likes to think and dunk. And I just don't. I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know if they're gonna kind of have a come to kind of a compromise this year. But I mean, that's a big question mark for me for the Browns is quarterback. But we'll see. So, Scott, go ahead.
All right, I'm pretty easy. I think the Steelers are going to win the division myself. I think they're going to take a huge step forward this year. I like what they're doing on offense. I think they're gelling together pretty good. I agree with you in regards to Joe Burrow and that injury. I think that thing's going to nag him all year, possibly. I mean, that's why I have them in second. The Ravens I got coming in third. I just don't think this whole OBJ experiment. They got so many guys on that team that get hurt. OBJ, Lamar, J.K. Dobbins. I mean, they just don't. You don't get full seasons. You're not going to get a full season out of OBJ. So what does that leave you with? Is Zay Flowers going to be able to fill that role for you while he's out? I don't know. I'm not convinced yet. I got to see it happen. I hear everybody talking about them and they're going to be great, and I'm just not seeing it yet. Yeah. And then the Browns, I think they're going to really regret after this season paying Deshaun all that money. I just think I think that year away from football did a lot to him. He just wasn't the same guy last year. I don't know if it's just the play calling or what, but if he's got to get his shit together this season, or I'd imagine they're going to be calling for his head over there. And they're stuck in the contract. What do you do?
Well, yeah, Jimmy Haslam, pays him all that money, pisses everybody off, signs him to that big deal, and just, has all these owners pissed at him. And it's like, and then for him maybe not even paying out. I mean, oh, wow, what a crush.
Look at those star players over there like Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
These guys getting wasted. Their careers getting wasted on horrible teams in Cleveland. I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them and their fans, to be honest.
Before we go to John, Steve's chiming in. He goes, Steelers win the division. Bengals second, Ravens third, Browns are the Browns. That's my prediction. So,
mine too, buddy.
Yeah. So, go ahead, John.
Bengals first, and I think as long as Burrow's healthy, I mean, I don't see why they don't win 12, 13 games, whatever it is. I like Cleveland. If Watson's good, I don't know why they're not very good. If Watson, you don't even have to be great, just be good. I think Cleveland's. I don't see why they wouldn't. For me, they come in second. A lot big ifs, right? I'm talking quarterback if. Like the Steelers a lot. They're fun. I think I like watching them. I do. I like the team. I like watching them. I think they could go third. I'm not a Baltimore fan at all. I think those wheels. I don't know how long you're going to keep Harbaugh there. I just think the whole thing's stale and boring. And OBJ is going to get hurt. Dobbins. It's just not if, it's when, So to me, and they got a great defense. I love Roquan, and it's the only thing that helps a lot, obviously, the defense. For me, I think they are going to be battling in the down below with Pittsburgh, but I think Pittsburgh's better than them. I really do. I think I don't know. I just don't like the Ravens, but I think it's the Bengals division, and I think the Browns could surprise if Watson could be better than okay, I guess.
Edward.
So it's a quarterback league, right? I just ranked the quarterbacks in order. I think your number one quarterback is Burrow. Number 2 is Lamar. Number 3 is Deshaun. Number 4 is Kenny Pickett. Defense-wise, I think Cleveland, the hiring of Jim Schwartz, huge for the Cleveland Browns. Adding Zadarius Smith opposite is huge. So having said all that, I think it might be a division like the NFC East was last year where everybody's over 500. I wouldn't be surprised if any one of the 4 teams were 4th or 1st. But I think Cleveland is going to surprise people. I think Baltimore can still run the ball. If you watch any of Todd Monken's Georgia drafts, it's not a complicated offense. He's going to try to get him to pass in the pocket a little bit more, and they're loaded in the skill positions. Bubble screens to Zay Flowers, stream routes to OBJ. You got one of the best tight ends in the league in Andrews, and you got Dobbins and Gus Edwards healthy this year. So, and you still have your 400-pound, 600-pound fullback. So I think they'll be fine, and their line is improved. So I could see it any mixed way. But I'm going to say, I'm going to give it to the Bengals because they're the best quarterback. And then after that, I think you just literally you take dice, you roll them on the floor, and I wouldn't be surprised any of those positions. I could see Bengals, Steelers, Browns, Ravens, Bengals, Ravens, Steelers. I could see it all the way. I think, I still think I go with the best quarterback, and that's Burrow. So,
yeah. All right. So, I rattled off stuff, and I really didn't even give my picks. So, I don't know what the hell.
We know where your heart is, Billy. We're good.
Okay. All right. I didn't even really bring up my Steelers. I don't know what the hell happened there. What am I doing here?
But, by the way, that line went up in the Steelers game. Was it 2? It jumped to 2-5 once they signed you-know-who. So, I figured it'll go to 3 or 3.5 tomorrow.
Yeah, Bosa, yeah. All right, well, let's rewind here. So I'm picking the Bengals to win the division. I think the Steelers are second. I think the Ravens are going to be third, and I think the Browns are going to be last. And the reason I picked the Steelers second, I really like what I saw this year from my Steelers in the preseason. I know it was a small sample size.
Fool's gold, Billy. Fool's gold. Don't do it.
Kenny Pickett and George Pickens look good. I mean, George Pickens over the top. I'll take it all day, every day.
They're throwing against air. They're playing against people who aren't in the NFL right now. Come on.
Fucking Trubisky looked good.
Yeah. He's a champ. Fucking Trubisky looked good. That should tell you everything.
Everyone looked good. Rick Meyer looked good.
Chicago tried it up for them. Passed over.
No, I just – and Tracy will agree with me.
Mr. Allen in Buffalo.
Tracy will agree with me. They've improved their depth dramatically this year. They've improved it in all phases, right? Or what did you say, Trace?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you add Samalo to the line. Dan Moore.
Samalo's adding. He's the best offensive lineman we have right now. He has become the anchor for that. He dominated in the preseason here.
Why did Philly let him go then? Just a question. Why'd Philly let him go?
I don't know, but he's going to be the one-on-one guy.
That's because Annie White wanted him. Annie White wanted him. That's why.
No, give me a fucking break.
When they play San Francisco, he's going to be one-on-one up front. Everybody else will have double teams, scoop blocks, and everything, but he'll be one-on-one, and he's going to win that.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something else that happened there, Edward, in the preseason. You got the best out of Broderick Jones, and you got the best out of Dan Moore. And the best man won the job, Dan Moore. I got to give Dan Moore Jr. He outplayed Broderick Jones.
The second and thirds, he outplayed Broderick Jones. You're correct. 100% correct. You are.
You guys see what I have to deal with on a weekly basis.
It's a fact.
You guys see what I have to.
You can't say that without addressing the obvious fact.
You ever
like
see
Kenny Pickett in his last 8 games?
You ever look kind of? You gonna ever look kind of off screen that I have a fridge here and I'm like pulling Jägermeister out and taking shots? Yeah, this is the reason why, guys. Okay, this is the stuff I have to deal with.
So Billy, Dan Moore Jr. is the reason. Dan Moore Jr. is the reason why Bosa has to go to the defensive left. He has to line up against Chooks, which means the Steelers are going to have to put a tight end over that side to help Chooks out against Bosa because Bosa's not going to be able to do anything against Dan Moore Jr.
Oh, my God. You really have to pass the Dutchie, baby. Come on.
What did Myles Garrett do against Dan Moore Jr.?
Oh, you mean
nothing.
The very last game of the year when nobody
I meant both times he played him, Edward. When he played him twice, he did nothing.
Oh, my God.
That's exactly what Bosa would do on the defensive right.
How many teams did Pickett beat?
0, Ed. You said 0. You wouldn't say how many? It's 0. That's how he did.
We'll see.
Get him, Trace. Get him. Oh, Trace is leaving. Trace is
He's got to go get the dog. He would go get the dog and the cricket. Hurry, Billy. Go.
Mic drop.
We're running out of time, Billy. Let's go.
We're not running out of time. We got plenty of time. All right. Let's switch to the AFC East. Scott, this is your wheelhouse. I gotta go with you first here.
Go, baby.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I know the Jets. The Jets are great. Like they scare me. Of course they. Why wouldn't they? I mean, they got a young team that's phenomenal, and they just got a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Everything, you got to love everything about it. But it's just got that feeling to me that it's going to fail for them. I myself am choosing Buffalo to win the division. Yes, I'm a homer, but also no one's talking about the Bills at all, and the Bills actually got better at every single position this year. Way better than the team they fielded last year that everybody picked to go to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I have to see the Jets. They need to show it to me before I just say, okay, this is what's going to happen. Okay? So where I'm at is Buffalo first. The Jets will be second. Miami's going to be third. They might, if Tua can fall the way I watched him fall that one game when he got hit, where he did his little thing and he didn't hit his head. If the guy doesn't get hurt, he's a force, right? I mean, he was leading the league last year at one point. So I'm going to say Miami, Jets right there, probably up pretty close to Buffalo. And then New England, I don't even know what to say anymore about that guy. I say he's a great coach, greatest of all time. That record says that, but if he never had Tom Brady left and did it. He left and Belichick has done nothing and did nothing prior, right?
Yeah.
Except get fired from Cleveland. But, that's where I'm at. The New England, I just don't even know what they're doing anymore because I heard they were trying to shop Mac Jones in the offseason, and now, he's great. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Up until last week, he was the only quarterback on the roster, and then they.
Belichick's pretty smart with that shit.
Yeah,
I mean, he found a loophole, right? I mean, got to give that guy credit. He found the loopholes to get himself another roster spot.
Yeah, he got Bailey Zappi on the practice squad now.
I wish we would have grabbed him, man. I wish somebody would have screwed that up on him and grabbed one of those guys just to screw him, right? Yeah. That's what I would have did.
Yeah.
Buffalo actually needed a guy. I would have totally did that.
Yeah.
But nobody did. They let him get away with it. So
yeah.
But that's my division, guys.
Yeah, I'm with you. John.
Oh, I think Buffalo will win the division. I think, and we and Scott have talked about this endlessly, I think eventually this Von Miller stuff has got to work out somewhere in here. He needs to play instead of being hurt all the time, because he's key. I think he's a key to this thing for all that pass rush and everything. I think he's important to keep him on the fucking field. The guy just can't stay on the field. I like Leonard Floyd. They got him kind of quietly. He wasn't great on the Bears, but he was young then. But when he was on the Rams, he looked good with Von Miller. We got to have Von Miller on the field with him. I do like the Bills to win the division. Love the Jets, though. I don't see why I wouldn't. I think that's going to be real close. I think really close, those two teams. Game one's going to be huge. You're going to need that. Game's going to be important, probably, maybe towards the end, on Monday night.
Yeah.
like Miami, I think they're very good too. I mean, they'll probably be third, maybe they might make the playoffs. And I think the Patriots are odd, and I think they're not bad in a way. I think they got an awfully good defense, and if they run the ball with Ramondre Stevenson, they do whatever. Maybe good enough to win 8 or 9. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were last year. But so for me, it's Buffalo, New York, Miami, New England.
Yeah, yep. I'm agreeing with you guys.
And
so
also, real quick, I think McDermott's on the hot seat if things don't. I mean, I'm here in Buffalo, so I'm listening to everything, and I think you agree, Scott. He's going to be.
He better be.
If things don't work out, he's got to be on the. He's calling the defense now. So.
Yeah. So.
This is my make or break year with McDermott because defensive coaches, man, I'm just not a huge fan of those guys. I think they cost you more times than they win you games,
Yeah, well, I don't know. We can maybe attest to that, and being a Steelers fan, we can.
Yeah,
maybe,
right.
So, but I got a smile at Ed.
No. But
all right.
AFC's real quick. I think Bills are going to take a step back because you can't replace Leslie Frazier. You just can't, and that's too much for McDermott to do. He's not that talented. I mean, they're all coaches after all. But I think this is another division. The NFL wants parity. I mean, could this be the year that everybody goes 8-8 or 9-8? I don't know. But there's a lot of divisions. These are two strong divisions. I think, you have to say that Mac Jones is at the bottom, but he gets O'Brien.
Yeah.
Myself up between a fantastic defense. Forget about their offense, which definitely sucked at the tackles. Absolutely. I mean, if those two tackles don't do anything, I mean, maybe damn Hard Knocks, beat in. If you got to get beat to the outside because I can deal with that. It's that upfront pressure that they don't want. So I could see the Bills, I could see the Jets, and the Dolphins. Again, they added a great D coordinator, right? So they upgraded at these positions. That means a lot. They have a lot of. I mean, when Ramsey comes back, that's going to be a team that's going to be loaded as well. So I mean, for me, it's between those three on the number one. So if I have to pick, I'll go Jets, Bills, Dolphins. Patriots. Go ahead, Trace.
Yeah, Ed, you were like freaking Max Headroom the last.
I thought that was my internet, man.
Yeah, you were like.
Do you want to play a game? Do you want to play a game?
Oh wow!
You literally did.
You guys.
So Eddie, you said the Jets, Bills, Dolphins, and Patriots, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I like the Dolphins more than the Bills at this point. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the Bills. I like the quarterback. I like the connection he has with Diggs. I agree with Ed. I think that I know that you said that they upgraded some positions. I feel like they took a step back in a couple of positions. But at the Dolphins, if they address the concussion issues with Tua and Tua's on the field, I think the Dolphins take the division. I think Buffalo stays right there with them, but comes in second. The Jets will be in third because I don't think they'll have it even with Aaron Rodgers there. And I think the Patriots are coming in last.
Yeah. All right. Here's what I think. So I'm going with Buffalo winning the division. And, there's been a lot of talk, and I know, John, and Scott, you can attest to this. There's been a lot of talk about the window closing in Buffalo, right? You've heard that, right? Haven't you heard that a lot?
The most ridiculous shit I have ever heard.
Yeah, they need to pump the brakes on the window closing.
When your quarterback's in his mid-20s, please explain to me how the window's closing.
Yeah,
I'm not understanding it.
Yeah, they just fire everyone if it closes.
But in the same breath, I watched them say Burrows is wide open.
Oh,
it's who they hate Buffalo. They all the media.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like people give them their props. But
watch out for Dalton Kincaid too.
I love him. I think he's a fantastic addition to this team, and there's already been a connection in the preseason. So I just think obviously they didn't show it a lot, but that's what I've heard. I've heard that connection is pretty hot, man.
Yeah. I just think, they bolstered their offensive line.
Osiris.
Yeah. Allen has weapons. I mean, to me, this is one of the best offenses in the NFL, period. A little bit of uncertainty surrounding the defense. But I expect this team to fully contend in the AFC, no question about it. And then second, I got to go with the Jets. They've been a playoff team, guys. When you think about it, even with mediocre quarterback play,
terrible quarterbacking. Yeah.
Right. You've got Aaron Rodgers now. Even he's approaching 40. Got it. You kind of do have a suspect offensive line still with the Jets. But Rodgers still, to me, can deliver. And I'm not sure how it's all going to look and how it's all going to be. We're going to really see it on display, I think, Monday night when they face the Bills. I mean, who could have, the schedule makers were really on that one. But I don't know. I think, anything less than them making a playoff run, the longest playoff drought in the league, I just think that they're going to be number 2 in that division. Number 3, I'm going with the Dolphins. There's been a lot of things, we've heard about Tua, is he going to play the whole season? Is he going to get hurt again? I mean, he bounces his freaking head off the turf, and we all know what happened there. But, Jalen Ramsey, he's expected to miss a big chunk of the season. I think that might be, I don't know, somewhat of an issue. But I think they have, to me, Miami has Pro Bowl caliber at all levels, I think. I think you got, Vic Fangio, another guy I really like calling the shots. The quarterback is healthy. I think the sky's the limit for the Dolphins, but I pick them at number 3. And then I got to go with the Patriots at last. I agree with you, Scott. Brady leaves, and it just seems like Belichick is kind of just, things have kind of just went, I don't know, south. I mean, Mac Jones, has, to me, is just kind of, he's a guy. Like, he's not really anything that really, I think their defense is going to be decent, but there's nothing on offense that really wows me with the Patriots. I think Bill O'Brien, getting him as the offensive coordinator, I think will help Mac Jones play a little bit more competent football, but I don't know. We'll see what happens there. So, but yeah. So, all right, going to AFC South. Ed, we'll start off with you.
The mighty AFC South. This is a pretty easy one, right? Jaguars are poised to take it. Let's see what Tennessee can do with Tannehill back healthy. And then you got the bottom feeders. You got the Colts with one of the greatest owners in all of sports, Jim Irsay. And then
one of the drunkest owners. One of the drunkest owners.
you have the Houston Texans, who I just don't think I watch so much of that freaking Ohio State. I don't see it in CJ Stroud. I don't. Yeah. I hope the kid does really well. I just don't see it. He's not an off-schedule thrower. He's not exceptionally well from the neck up like the other guy is. Bryce Young. If you had his size and Bryce Young's head, that would be one of the greatest quarterback prospects we've ever seen, right? Yeah. That's what Young is missing, what Stroud has. Stroud is missing what Young has, right? Yeah. The size and the intellect. So as far as football, not otherwise. But so I think it's easy. Jacksonville, number 1, and Tennessee, not too far behind. And then the other 2, who cares what they do because they're irrelevant. So
yeah, we got Kyle Davis. Kyle Davis is chiming in. I should have went to him when we were talking AFC East, but he said, so if Tua doesn't play the whole season, it's a problem. So if Allen misses, they will be okay.
Right, because they have another Allen behind him, so they'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah. So
Allen squared.
Right, yeah. Josh to Kyle. Nobody will even know. They're like, oh, he's fine. Look at the.
Oh yeah, I know. Hurdling people, having 350-yard game, 4 TD games. Yeah, I see that.
All right, Trace, what do you say about this in AFC South?
No, I agree with Eddie there. I like the Jaguars to start it off. Titans right behind them, not far, but then it's probably going to be the Colts and then Texans. I just don't think the Texans are going to have much for anybody this year. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. Okay. Okay, I'll take it next. I say the Jaguars, number 1. They win the division. I think Trevor Lawrence, I think people have said, he's ready to take the next step. I think he pretty much took the next step last year, and just did hell of a job last year, I thought. And the only thing with Jacksonville, they didn't do much to address their defense in the offseason. You got Calvin Ridley now joining what's already kind of a good unit there. But I don't know. So second, I am taking the Tennessee Titans. Hey, I think as long as you have Derrick Henry still running, I think you've got a chance to be a halfway decent team. I don't know. I mean, Tennessee, we'll see what they can do. I know they picked up a pretty damn good kicker. But with Foles. But Mike Vrabel, I just think the guy doesn't get enough credit for being a hell of a coach. I think he doesn't get the credit. But I think the Titans are going to pound the rock this year. They're going to rely on the play action, and I don't know. But
I think Vrabel's a really good coach, Billy. That's a good point. And you got another comment there.
Yeah, Steve Simmer says Texans and Colts fight for last place. Agreed. I'm going with the Texans as third in that division. I just the Texans. I agree with that. C.J. Stroud to me hasn't really shown much. And you got DeMarco Ryans. He's
D'Amico.
Basically, D'Amico. Sorry,
DeMarco's his brother.
Okay, all right. But he's playing with house money with year one, right? I mean, you got C.J. Stroud, you got Will Anderson. We'll see what happens there. And then last, I'm picking the Colts. I mean, Anthony Richardson is. I've watched him in preseason, and I'm not impressed. You do the dirty bird, and sorry, man, too early for that. You haven't done anything in the league. With this whole thing with Jonathan Taylor and Jim Irsay. I mean, Irsay, let's face it, he's a stumbling, bumbling drunk. I mean, that's what he is. He's a jackass, and I don't know. That whole issue is just crazy, and I think it's just a crap organization. The Colts. You had Saturday last year, who, for all intents and purposes, had no business being head coach. There was tons of other coaches that should have got the shot at. Jim Irsay can hire whoever the hell he wants. I get it, but I'm picking the Colts last. Scott, we'll go to you next.
I'm taking the Jags. I liked them last year. I like them again this year. I think they're actually going to do pretty decent. I think they'll go pretty far into the playoffs, actually. I think they're set up pretty well. And I'm the same. Titans and, Texans, Colts. Doesn't even matter because they're both a shit show. So until they show me some semblance of a team, then we'll pull them back into relevance, I guess, right?
Yeah. All right, John.
Jacksonville, Tennessee, really, really close. I like them. I like Tennessee. But I think Jacksonville wins, and then Indy, Houston, Indy, just like Scott says. I agree.
Okay. All right. Next, we'll move on to the AFC West. Go ahead, John. Take it away on that one.
Oh, the Chiefs are going to win the division. I mean, I know Kelsey and all that, but I think he'll be. I mean, I don't believe it's going to be. Well, I don't believe it's going to be a long-term injury, but we'll see. I mean, they're saying. But let me just go with I don't think it will be, and he'll be okay. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win the division. Denver's interesting, but I think the Chargers, my God, talk about blowing that 27-0 lead in the playoffs. They need to fire somebody over there if things don't turn around quickly. I mean, turn around meaning, man, you got Herbert, you got everything. I think you got everything you could want. Eckler, the whole deal. Khalil Mack's a bum, but you still got him. And I think they should be pushing. They should be knocking on the door of the Chiefs, and they're not yet, and they should be. Denver's going to be fun. I mean, to watch. Maybe Sean Payton. It looks like Russell Wilson. I don't know what type of Russell Wilson we're going to get. If we're going to get the one that's laying in bed smoking, if we're going to get the one who's talking about Jesus. I don't know which one we get. But if we get one that's a little thinner and runs around, maybe he'll be fun and it'll be good. And I don't know when Brian Hoyer is going to start for the Raiders because that should be fun to watch.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Yeah, that's a good point there. Scott, we'll go with you next.
Yeah, I'm Chiefs all day long at number one. There's just no doubt till you knock the king off, you have to keep putting them up there. Yeah. Chargers number two, because I as well believe I don't know how you have that much talent on a team and your quarterback all wrapped up and you still shit the bed every year.
Yeah.
The Broncos, I have to see something from them. I just don't know what kind of a team they're going to be. I have an idea, but I got to see how much of a change Russell Wilson will make. So I got them in third, and then the Raiders, because Jimmy G will be hurt by like week 3.
Yeah.
And they'll be on their backup quarterback, and the rest of the year will just be a talk about where they draft their next quarterback or whatever.
Yeah. All right, I'll go next. Kansas City wins it. Like I said, they're the cream of the crop. Second, I got to go with the Chargers. I think adding Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator, I think should help. I would think, last year they turned a playoff berth literally into an embarrassment.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Double doink.
I'm talking hockey in that one. I'm talking hockey. I know that feeling there, Bill.
Yeah, but I think Kellen Moore is. I think he's going to do good in with the Chargers. I think he's going to have less pressure than he had with the Cowboys. I really do. I think he had a lot of anytime you're an offensive coordinator or a coach in general playing for coaching for Jerry Jones, you're under the microscope. So, and Justin Herbert, I mean, he's just he's amazing. And then third, I'm going with the Broncos. I don't know. Sean Payton, I think is going to turn this thing around. He's calling the shots. I think, I just want to see how much gas Russell Wilson has in the tank. And if he can get, if Payton can get good football out of Wilson, I think it's going to be a good match. Him and Russell Wilson, and then. Last, I picked the Raiders. I agree with you. I think we're going to have Hoyer starting by like week 4 or 5. So, but Trace, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm right in line with you, man. I like the Chiefs for sure. Mahomes is there. Obviously, whether Kels plays or not, I still think he's just a dominant force. And absolutely with the Chargers, Herbert, I love that guy. He's a really good quarterback. And followed by the Broncos and, of course, the Raiders. I just don't think the Raiders are going to have anything this year at all to watch.
Yeah. Ed?
I think this division has 50% of the head coaches on the hot seat immediately. Josh McDaniel and that goofball in San Diego. I mean, San Diego has so much talent, it's embarrassing. They should compete for the division title. Should. Whether or not they do, I don't know. But they have enough talent on both sides of the ball to compete for the division title. So that's your 1 and 2. Denver, I expect to see Jared Stidham by week 8 because Russell he doesn't look like he has it anymore. He just doesn't. He can't run around and scramble anymore. He's not an off-schedule quarterback. And we all have to remember he's 5'10", right? Yeah. Where Stidham is almost 6.
I didn't know he was 5'10".
Yeah, that's all he is. So, and then in the Raiders, I don't think McDaniel stays around much longer. I mean, they don't have anybody. I mean, he has a bad track record of getting injuries. Garoppolo does, but they don't really. I mean, he's not going to be in Hoyer. Hoyer's awful. I just think that he can't be there much longer. The only problem is with the upcoming draft, to get up to that top, it's going to be a king's ransom, and I don't think many teams are going to want to do that unless you start tanking like the Cardinals are doing, who likely own 1 and 2 in the upcoming draft. But that's all I got, Belly. On to the next, baby. AFC is done.
Okay, let's do. What do we want to do? NFC West, or we want to do NFC East?
West, baby. Keep the West.
Okay, let's do West. I'll go ahead and start this off. So, I think the Niners. I think they win this division easily. It's hard to rank Brock Purdy, I guess. Highly among like the contending quarterbacks, but he's surrounded by all pros in. You added Javon Hargrave as well to a defense that was already elite, really, when you look at it. Nick Bosa, obviously signed. He got signed the contract today. to me, Brock Purdy doesn't have to be great to get this team to where it needs to be. He just doesn't. So, second, I'm going with the Seahawks.
Go Hawks.
I think Geno Smith, obviously Pete Carroll's a hell of a coach. I think Geno Smith, I think he's still, a decent quarterback. You got Jackson Smith in Jigba. You got Charbonnet, you got Bob. You added Bobby Wagner again, to shore up that middle of the defense. So, I think that's going to be good. And then really in the last, I think the Rams are probably going to be third. They're just a train wreck. They're in a rebuild, really. When you look at it, and I think they're going to be in a rebuild for the next, 4 years. Aaron Donald's probably going to be gone at the trade deadline, right? More than likely. So, and McVay, he's a decent coach, but he doesn't have a lot to work with. And then the Arizona Cardinals are just a train wreck. I think they're the worst team in football. And Kyler Murray's a jackass. And that's about all I have to say about that. So, Trace, go ahead.
It's a fun word, jackass.
Yes, that was a very fun word. I like the Niners, obviously, just for the same reasons that I think they have a lot of pieces in place, and I think they can plug just even a game manager of any kind in there, and he'll do well. The Seahawks, Geno Smith, with being from West Virginia and all, I always like to see him do well, and they'll go as far as he takes them. Of course, the Rams are by third, and then I completely agree with you, everything you said about the Cardinals. I think they're going to have a very high pick again, and they obviously need a quarterback.
Yeah. Edward.
So I base my division rankings on the third-string quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. They complete the set, and they have the final Allen playing quarterback in the NFL, Brandon Allen out of Arkansas. So if he's healthy, I think the Niners win the division. Forget about the other two. I'm just going with the third-string quarterback, right? If he stays healthy, they win.
Well, they needed him last year.
They did. They're the reason why the new rule is in effect.
Yeah.
So I think San Francisco and Seattle are definitely gonna butt heads for number one. They really are.
Yeah.
But I think the Niners defense is better, period. So I think they're going to take the day. Followed closely by the Seahawks. And I think the Rams and the Cardinals are going to fight for the number one overall pick, right? Yep. I really think they did, because the Rams are going to break up that trio. Cooper Kupp isn't playing because he's gone to Chicago to see a hamstring specialist, right? I wasn't sure. Being in medicine for 24 years with the Army, I didn't know there was a hamstring specialist. But apparently that person resides in Chicago. So that's where he's off to go look at. I think Donald is gone, most likely to Cleveland, or someone else who has a ton of money. And I think they're bad. That's all. They're bad.
Yeah, Donald, I think, goes to the East Coast. I think he goes somewhere in the East Coast.
I think he definitely does.
Yeah.
John.
49ers for sure. With Seattle right there, I love Kenneth Walker III. I like everything they got. They got so many weapons, and I think they're awfully good. And I agree, they'll be so close, but I think the 49ers pull it out with the defense. Rams stink. Arizona, my God, it's going to be Dobbs playing quarterback, so it's going to be fun, and they should win one, maybe.
Dobbs is a rocket scientist, by the way.
He's good. So. He's got the brains, yeah.
Yeah, he does. So, Scott.
All right. I got 49ers, obviously. They're plug and play. They remind me of the Baltimore Ravens way back when, where Trent Dilfer could be in there as an average quarterback, and they would
2000 Ravens. Yep, 2000 Ravens, yep.
Then I got Seattle. Obviously, I think I really like Seattle's team. I do. So they're definitely second for me. I think they're going to play up just as well as they did last year.
Yeah.
Then I got the Rams. And was it worth it? Was it worth it?
I don't know.
Yeah, why
not? I mean, to me, I'll tell you what. My team has sucked for so long.
It's worth it.
I would give all in for that one Super Bowl just to have it. After going to 4 and not winning and going through that misery.
Yeah, it's worth
I would totally go through what the Rams are going through right
now. Rebuild,
if it was guaranteed, it would have to be guaranteed. Yeah. So it was just never going to happen.
Right.
And then obviously the joke of the year. Actually, how dumb is Kyler Murray? He's hardly played any football, and he's made a ton of money.
Yeah, he's not too dumb. He's played the system. He's not
going to probably even play. He's not playing for Arizona ever again.
Maybe
they're definitely not going to let him risk that injury settlement in his contract. No way. He's done. He'll never play another down. for Arizona.
Well, who do they have? I mean, I know they cut Colt McCoy. Who?
They
got Dobbs, and who else do they have? I don't even know. Edward, you would know that.
They have Thune out of the University of Houston.
Okay, rattle me off there.
Quarterback.
Rattle me off.
I know you know everybody's third stringer.
Yeah. Well, he's their second stringer. I haven't checked out their practice squad.
That's impressive, man.
Edward, rattle me off their 16-man practice squad real quick.
I can't do that, but I mean,
all right,
Thune actually looked good.
All right, there, Rain Man, you're slipping.
You know something I saw. So what's the number one quarterback prospect coming out of college? Caleb, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see what his father just said?
He ain't coming out if he's going to Arizona.
You know it. I just saw it today.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with him. I mean, Arizona
exactly, and he said it perfectly. Unfortunately, that's the curse of being the number one pick: is you go to a shitty organization and you turn it around, or you fail horribly, which most of them fail horribly. Yep. But yeah, that he's going to stay in. What does he think? It's just going to be better the next year?
Well, don't forget, NIL plays a huge part of that now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they could stay in longer.
Right, because you're going to make
the Arizona Cardinals organization is like a shit show with everything. It seems
the NIL is incredible, though. I mean, there's guys playing. I was watching a ton of college football. Someone was on their 6th year, and the guy was like, I mean, it was unbelievable. Why not?
The guy Duke's on his 7th year.
That's it. Him.
Defensive backs. Yeah.
Football's not guaranteed. I'd milk it for everything, man.
Adulting sucks. That's what I tell him.
Play till I'm 35, sure, dude.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Billy, anyway, it's Jeff Driscoll for the Cardinals.
Okay, thanks.
Excellent.
Appreciate that, Ed. You're on it tonight, brother. All right, let's go to the NFC East, and Ed, we're going to start off with you because that's your
the fantastic NFC East. Look, I think that Mr. Hertz, Hulu has live sports guy. I think he has to do it for another year. Honestly, he had 1 year. His previous 2 years sucked. He was not very good. So I want to see him do it for another year. But they do have a loaded team, so we'll go with Philly and Dallas battling it out. And then Washington's a train wreck. They have a terrible coach right now. Unfortunately, he's past his prime. I mean, they've got rid of the owner, thank God. But I think New York has a decent roster. So I would go Philly with Dallas not too far behind, and then Washington and New York are fighting it out for the bottom.
Yeah, Trace.
No, I really like Ed's synopsis there. I like the Eagles again. I think Hurst needs to prove it one more time at least. I think the Giants have a little bit, but not enough to do anything with. Cowboys are always sniffing around either way. Commanders are just going to try to rebuild, I guess, again for the 50th year in a row.
Can you imagine Aaron Donald going to the Cowboys?
Oh my God, man!
Yeah,
I couldn't even say things like that.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's going to be they're going to do something big at the trade deadline because I thought his move for Trey Lance was brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It was good. It was
100%.
It was really good. Yeah,
absolutely. He got him out of that horrible decision he made.
Yeah,
defense can get you to the playoffs. Why would you pay somebody $60 million when you can pay somebody $3.5 million?
Yeah,
you have CeeDee Lamb coming up. You have Michael Parsons coming up. There's all your money right there. $57 million plus the 20 bump in the cap. 20 bump in the cap. There you go.
Yeah. If it were, as long as it works out, right?
Mr. Taking well, going back home and in his old town.
Is he really max headrooming to me?
He is. No, he's doing it to me too. He's flipping out again. There.
I think he gets excited in it.
Ed, do they not have good internet service in Mount Lebanon or what? Here,
I don't know. I paid for it. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's that wavelength stuff with his brain, man. When his brain starts firing, nothing else can fire around him, so the computer goes down, That Rain Man stuff he does. He's trying to rattle up the third-string quarterback. Everything goes down. The grid is down.
Yeah. Grid's down, baby.
Yeah. All right, I'll go next here. So, yeah, Eagles. I mean, I think the Eagles are going to take a step back, though, guys. I'm still not sold on Hurts. I'm just not. I just think that I don't know. There's, he looked decent last year, but, I don't know. I think they take a step back. Biggest thing, I think, you lose two
coordinators.
Yeah, Shane Steichen and Gannon, Jonathan Gannon, I think that's the biggest thing. He's, that in itself, I think might be an issue. Cowboys second. I mean, I think, with what they've added this year, I think, they're going to be pretty good on both sides of the ball. You're bringing back pretty much all your stars on the Cowboys. You have that veteran coach. You have a veteran quarterback. If Dak and McCarthy can't find a way over the hump this year, then it's hard to imagine what the hell is going to happen. Next, I picked the Giants. I think Daboll is still a good coach. I think Daniel Jones is a halfway decent quarterback. He surprised me a little bit. The guy he's actually mobile. I think having Darren Waller, I think is going to help him as well.
And they also added Isaiah Simmons from the Cardinals, who can fly.
Yeah. So, but I look for them to be, the Brian Daboll in his first season, he had a hell of a season, and I think, you've got Wink Martindale as the coordinator. I mean, they have a decent defense. Commanders are a train wreck. I mean, Rivera, I agree. I love Ron Rivera as a person, but his coaching is kind of his philosophy kind of has fallen on deaf ears. And this whole thing with him and Bieniemy and this going back and forth. I mean, do you guys need to have constant chaos in that organization? Is that
I think so?
It's unbelievable to me. I just don't understand it. But yeah, I mean, they're a train wreck. This whole Bieniemy and Rivera thing was really odd. But yeah. All right, our last division, guys.
Wait, they didn't go.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. What am I doing?
Oh, yeah.
Scott, I'm sorry.
I'm really easy. For me. It's Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Commanders.
Woo!
I just think the Giants take another leap, man. Daboll was offensive coordinator here for a couple of years. There's something about that guy. I wish he would have stayed. I wish he would have been our head coach, to be honest, because I think he's more forward thinking with his players, and he took players that the Bills let go, and he turned in like Isaiah Hodgins as an example. He seems to do that, and he coached a bunch of players again this offseason. So I don't know. I like Daboll. I like what he's done, and
I like what he did.
The bottom for me, is Dallas and Commanders.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
I like what he did. Apparently, at the coaches' meeting right after minicamp, he went sat down and cracked the tall boy right in the meeting. So I think that was pretty badass.
He's a good dude. They loved him here. Yeah. The players loved him.
I apologize, guys. I'm kind of going, so I'm on the screen and I'm going counterclockwise and I missed it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to almost skip you. Thanks for keeping me on my toes, Ed. All right, John.
It's all about you, Billy.
John.
If Philly takes a step back, I think Dallas would win the division. If Jalen Hurts is taking steps back, I think Dallas could take the division. I mean, Dak's 30. I mean, I don't like him much, but if that happens where Hurts takes Dallas could win the division. So
I agree.
I think Daboll there should be a statue built to him if he makes this $40 million a year guy be any decent. I think Daniel Jones stinks. So if Daboll does that, what a wizard. I think the Giants aren't that. I don't know. Whatever with them. They can win 9 games, whatever they do. The the Washington football team, I love Ron Rivera, right? 85 Bears. My God, I have to. But Bieniemy's there to take it. They're probably, though, maybe just starting to turn the corner, so to speak, right? Getting things under control over there, changing some ownership, doing all that. I mean, I'd like to see them be good again. It's fun when the Washingtons are good. So that's my thing. Dallas will win that division if Jalen's going to take steps back. Yeah.
Just kind of off topic. Was Ron Rivera in the Super Bowl shuffle, by the way?
Was he in it? No, yeah. I don't think he was in there dancing.
Okay.
Because he was kind of a backup back then to Otis Wilson and Wilbur Marshall. And
I didn't think he was. Yeah. But all right.
I love Wilbur Marshall.
Yeah. All right. Now our last division here, the NFC South.
The dirty South, Billy. The dirty South.
Yeah. Trace, we'll go ahead and start with you. What do you think of the NFC South?
Well, not much to begin with. I don't know, man. So I mean, they're going to scrape the ball. The Buccaneers will probably be near the top with these guys. I don't know. The Saints might do well with some of the additions they've had. I don't see the Panthers or the Falcons really doing anything, even though they're trying. So I'm going to go Buccaneers, Saints, Falcons, Panthers.
Okay. I'll go ahead next. So I think the Saints are going to win this division. Derek Carr, I know, Ed, you're probably going to lambaste me on this one, but, I'm kind of liking the hype with Derek Carr, what I've seen in the preseason. He looked good. He really did. He looked good. He's freaking jacked. I mean, God, the guy looks like he's just been like curling like 1,000, doing 1,000 pounds of curls each arm every day. Like I just think
what's he on the roids, Bill?
He might be. He might be on. Yeah, he might be getting the old D-ball in the buttocks there. I don't know. I mean, but. Wow.
What a striking visual that is, Billy.
Yeah. We took a turn for the worse there. That kind of went south there a little bit. All right. But, all right, let's get back on track here. Okay. No, there's been concern about his age. I'm not, Derek Carr, I think, is a decent. I think he's the best. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFC South. Okay.
Easily.
I'm going to say it easily. Yeah. Second, I got to go with the Tampa Bay Bucks, kind of just by, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what Baker Mayfield can do. I think they have a halfway decent defense. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Panthers, I don't know. It's a toss-up between the Panthers and Falcons. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we're going to see. Ritter, I think, is not that good. So I'm going to go with Carolina. I think Carolina is going to be third in that division, and I think the Falcons are going to pull up the rear. I think they're going to be fourth. And yeah. So, Scott, what you think?
Well, I as well. Got to get back to my division here so I can look at everybody. I agreed with you on. I think the Saints are going to take the division as well. I really like Michael Thomas is saying he's healthy. What that means right now, I don't know, but he seems to be pretty adamant about it. I think Derek Carr is going to have a little bit of a resurgence here. It's going to be refreshing to be someplace else, and he seems to be really happy because I've seen some interviews with him. Yeah, I think the Saints are going to take the division. I like Carolina second. I think the Panthers are going to be a lot better than people think. Then I'm going to go Falcons and Buccaneers, and Falcons just based on them running the ball like crazy constantly.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
Is what they're probably going to do.
Yeah, no, you got a point there. So, John,
Saints are good enough. Should win the division, right? They'll win the division, I think. Yeah. Then I think Atlanta, Tampa, and I think Young is just too small. I don't know what to say about what happened there with taking him and what they did. And I think they'll be lucky to win 4 games. And I think Carolina's in dead last. And I think they'll regret taking a guy that's that small in this day and age. It's not the same. I don't know. Frank Reich's the coach there. Well, this isn't Doug Flutie. I mean, I don't see it being like that anymore. So
this isn't the Montreal Alouettes. I'm sorry, the Calgary Stampeders.
So I'm going to put them in dead last. And I'm sure it's just wishful thinking. Yeah,
Toronto Argonauts. Argonauts. Sorry.
But I'm sure it's wishful thinking because I got a Bears hat on. So I'm going to put the Panthers in last.
Okay.
And that'll be my victory.
It'll be my victory, says
Eduardo.
All right. I think the Saints take it. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
My division rankings come with trades as well. I think Atlanta is going to be second only because they have Kyle Pitts and they have Bijan and they're going to be able to run the ball. And their defense is halfway decent. I think Tampa comes in third. I think Mike Evans is a Kansas City Chief at deadline because they're going to need another target. And I think that Carolina is just not ready for prime time. I don't think – I've seen him take a lot of hits in the SEC, which is the NFL junior. I just think it's going to be very difficult to stay upright and stay in rhythm because he's going to get hit a ton. And he doesn't have the frame. He's only 200 pounds. I mean, forget about his height. If he was 5'10", 215, 220, he'd have a better shot at it. But he is frail. I mean, he was 196. He put on 10 pounds before the combine. Best thing he has going is his brain, but I don't know if that's going to be able to do it. So, but I look for Mike Evans to be gone to Kansas City.
That's a good.
Well, he's done. He's going to be done negotiating as soon as the season starts, right? Did he say
Sunday?
Sunday, yeah, as a Sunday.
I heard they're getting close. I read something today where it's getting close for Evans in Tampa. So we'll see.
Well, yeah. So I know we're going to wrap it up here real quick, but I know
Super Bowl.
We covered everything. Okay, go ahead. You go ahead and give me your.
My picks for the Super Bowl are I'm going to shock the world and take San Francisco and the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to take the Niners for the ship.
Okay. Trace.
Oh, I don't know.
The hell did you unmute?
I don't know. I want to see Buffalo back in, right, for Scott. I'm going to see Buffalo back in and finally get one. That'd be great. I don't care who's on the other side. That's what I'm going to say.
Ooh.
Thanks, buddy.
Billy, you're up. Let's go, man.
So, yeah, I think I really do. I think Buffalo. I think it's going to be Buffalo. I mean, Ed, I kind of hate to go along with you, but I think it could be the Buffalo 49ers. I really do. And I would like to see Buffalo win. So, Scott.
It's very weird that you guys even picked those two, but I'm exactly the same because I thought the same thing, is that it's going to be Buffalo and the 49ers and Buffalo finally getting one.
Yep. John?
Bears Patriots. It's because I always live in the 80s. I'm just dwelling in the past like you wouldn't believe. You have no idea. It was the best of times.
Oh, that was great.
I'm gonna say something different. Jets Cowboys.
Ooh.
Super Bowl.
Okay.
Who wins it?
Jets, because Namath and everybody, and it'll be wonderful for all. ESPN will be so happy.
They're gonna interview Namath.
Yeah,
they're gonna interview Namath, and whoever's interviewing him, he's gonna say, "I want to kiss you."
Yeah, he'll harass them all, man or woman.
No, that'll be Greeny to Aaron Rodgers at the post game interview.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, Aaron
got morning glory. I'm here, baby.
Yeah. All right, real quick, guys, just to close this out, I want to do something fun. I mentioned this to John. John, I thought it was a good idea. Real quick, I want to just say, I want each of us to give one franchise we cannot stand and why. I'm going to go first. This is a surprising one, but I cannot stand the Raiders. I cannot stand them. I cannot. Anywhere you go, if you go to any, I've been to a couple Hall of Fame inductions. They're the most obnoxious fans. They've been irrelevant for decades. The owner haircut sucks. He looks like a total. He looks like a Goomba from Super Mario Brothers with that haircut. He's a complete jackass.
He's got a weird head, man.
He looked a terrible bald, though, Billy.
He would look terrible bald. I will give him that. But it's I don't know. He's got a freaking bicycle helmet that he's wearing. So, but Raiders. I just can't stand. I can't stomach them. I just cannot stomach them. I was. I'm too young to remember the rivalry in the 70s with them and the Steelers, but my dad always could not stand the Raiders. Chuck Noll always called them the criminal element. I did kind of I got to be honest with you, though. I wouldn't have liked John Madden in the 70s, but I did like John Madden later. I mean, I love John Madden. I mean, but, he coached the Raiders, but he got out of there. He only did, 10 years and got the hell out of that crazy ass organization. But yeah, I just can't stand them. Scott?
Cowboys all day long and on Sundays, man, because for my entire life, I don't think there's ever been a year that doesn't go by without them being talked about all preseason long.
Yeah.
About how they're going to be in the playoffs and how they're right there. And they just dominate shows almost as much as the Jets did this preseason, but and still are, which I'm like, I can't even take it anymore with that stuff.
Yeah.
I hate it. They just drown you with it. They make you despise teams because of how much they cover them sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hate the Jets now, but I always hate Dallas. Always.
Yeah. John?
It's Green Bay is who I should say, but it's the Bears. I mean, I got to tell you the truth. I mean, they have been really something my entire life from 85 on. I mean, even with Ditka, we go to Buddy Ryan. I can keep on going on and on and on. Mike Glennon giving them all that money, double doink. I mean, we could just keep on going and going and going. And, so really, in all honesty, the team I root for is the one I hate the most. So if I'm going to be honest, it's the Bears, but I do hate the Packers because they own me. So
yeah. That's good, John. I love it.
Yeah.
Ed?
Well, for me, it should be the Cowboys, but I just feel sorry for them because every year they get the hype and they just can't do anything. I mean, biggest one for me being in the NFC East is the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. Philly fans are the worst.
They threw snowballs at Santa Claus, for Christ's sake. Who the hell does that? Yeah, with batteries.
Batteries and shit they were throwing.
Yeah. I mean, who the hell does that?
They're so obnoxious for a city that's done one Super Bowl. They're the most obnoxious fans known to mankind.
Well, it's funny.
There's a couple close seconds, but they're number one for me.
Last year, my kids and I were watching the Super Bowl, and I said that. I said, there was Philly fans, and they were showing in the stands. I said, those fans threw snowballs at Santa Claus. And my kids, 5 years old and 7, said, they threw snowballs at Santa? I said, yeah. I said, they're scum of the earth. So.
Yeah. And Merry Christmas, kids.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Yeah. All right, Trace, you're next.
I wouldn't say I hate any, but I like Eddie's synopsis of Philadelphia. I would not mind getting in the middle of a bunch of people from Philadelphia and just seeing what's what. But also the Raiders. I'm not a big fan of the Raiders fans either. I wouldn't mind trying that out too. They bring knives to the fight. Not scared. But those are probably the two that stand out. Other than that, though, Billy, I don't really hate any teams because it's just so fun to watch the damn game. That's all.
Yeah, well, I'm with you, Raiders. Their fans are they dress up in the, they look so mean and bad, and they put up just a shit product on the field year in and year out. It's like, no, you guys aren't scaring anybody, So
for me, it's also the Miami fans as well. There's not a lot in the area. Like one of my good friends is a Miami Dolphins fan, but we go to the games together, and we used to once in a while. But yeah, for me, obviously, it's Miami because their fans online are unbearable.
Yeah,
they're unbearable.
It's tough liking a team and living in the in a different city too. I mean, through the years, Bills fans have been. You're the best one I ever found, and. We've known each other since high school, but you were the best I've ever found. Some of them are rough, man, when you don't like the team. But I think that's for anyone that doesn't live in the area that they go to. But, yeah, Dolphins fans, my God. Yeah, there's a bunch. I do agree, though. I don't hate. You know what? I hate myself. Well, not myself, but the team I like because they are so disappointed. Think about you guys. How long you've been disappointed by these guys? And you're watching them. And Mike Tomczak should have played. And God damn it, you played Harbaugh. And I'm still mad since '86.
Yep. Yeah.
So, hey, how about Johnson Flutie?
Right.
Who knows what could have been?
Yeah.
How about 13 freaking seconds when your horrible coach it makes a blunder?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I don't even get me started, dude. Yeah. I mean, I was there for every one of them Super Bowls. I mean, I drove all the way back from Pittsburgh with some guys I went to college with. I was actually living in Pittsburgh at the time. And we drove back just to watch the Super Bowl with our friends and then to just be completely devastated by that missed field goal. And then every year after that, it was just a running joke at that point. They're going to get there and get their ass kicked. It's just, unusual.
Oh, man, what a bad way. Yeah.
Well, guys, we are at almost an hour and a half. Had a lot of comments tonight, a lot of viewers.
Cool.
Would have liked to see some of these people comment on who they dislike, but well, guys, it was a lot of fun. We should do it again sometime.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
mid-season. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Sure, we should do that.
But,
check our picks.
I was just about to say and see where we're at.
Yeah. So
it's a lot of fun, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
see
Aaron
Donald in the
Dallas
Cowboys uniform, Mike Evans with the Chiefs.
Don't say that.
Not say that, man. That's not even funny.
If he goes to the Cowboys, oh my God,
I'm telling you.
You know why? Because as a Bills fan, I sit and I see all these teams, and I'm like, why are they all able to do this and we just don't?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Why don't we ever go after the Buffalo? Never does. When they went after Von Miller, I was shocked because we don't do that. Yeah. They don't spend that kind of money here because we don't have it. I guess.
I think he's going to go to the East Coast somewhere. I really do. I think he goes to the East Coast.
Really, he's going to Dallas. Accept it now. I'm telling you, he's going to Dallas. About that time,
Dallas. Stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas.
You guys are nuts.
How about that old? You remember that old '70s song? You remember that Dallas Football Cowboys?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I need to be able to get that out of my head tonight.
Get down, y'all.
Thanks, SpitBallin.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for all the comments. We'll be back next week. We should do it mid-season. That'd be great. Look at our picks. But thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thanks for the comments. And, we really appreciate it. Like I said, it was a lot of fun. And
Bill,
we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, Bill, real quick. SpitBallin Sports Friday night, 6 o'clock. Watch us.
Yeah. Tell everybody where they can find you guys. I know we're part of the team now, too. So.
Yeah, the SpitBallin Sports page. We're there at 6 o'clock on Friday. That's where you see us live, but then we shifted over. I'll put it on YouTube and then throw it on Twitter after that. But join us. Me and Scott have a good time.
And for those of you that don't know, we do put the Pittsburgh Sports Desk on SpitBallin Sports now. We do Pocket, right, John? Yeah. So we do. We've been using that platform as well, and been getting a lot of viewership and. We like it a lot. So, but thanks, guys, again, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Play that too, Billy.